It's been 23 years since we first got a taste of some of the best and most badass historically accurate real-time strategy this side of PC gaming, and we've been waiting with bated breath for an update. Thankfully, Age of Empires has delivered. When the third installment came out in 2005, we expected regular releases, of course. These were different, simpler times when game publishers didn't churn out half-baked titles for certain franchises every year. But I digress. For us 90 kids, this is a perfect return to form, both an epic continuation and a reimagining of a game that brought much joy and wonder to our hearts via those Pentium 4 computers. As for the newcomers, don't fret, there's a whole lot to discover here and even more to explore in this 2021 release. So allow me to tell you all about it. Grab a seat, get comfy, and be prepared for an action-packed trip through history and back. What's up guys, I'm Naisou with UnGeek, and here are 5 things that make Age of Empires 4 awesome. While the idea of having 8 different civilizations duke it out is quite the familiar concept, Age of Empires 4 switches things up just a bit. Take control of the English, the Chinese, the Mongols, the Delhi Sultanate, the French, the Abbasid dynasty, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Rus. In typical RTS fashion, each civilization has their own respective units along with their tiers. The agriculture and economics do set them apart though. The English of course have their longbows and can eventually produce gold from their farms. Hey, that's cash money all game long. Mongolians can't trade for stone, but they can mine quarries and move their production buildings around like the pillaging nomads they are. And the Rus? Well, they have warrior monks on horses. Yeah, warrior monks on horses. Let that sink in for a little bit, because your Wololos got nothing on these badasses. Each civilization brings something to the table in terms of aesthetics and character. The units bring life to the map, and of course, snuffing it out at the expense of your enemy is your main goal. With a 200 unit population cap, things can be overwhelming at first, but the detail in the battles just makes the learning curve worthwhile. Given how much could be happening on screen at a time, you'd think everything would be kind of a mess, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Detailed actions such as spearmen impaling cavalry charges, heavy crossbowmen mowing down armored targets, and the siege warfare complete with burning structures makes for a very realistic, micromanaged battles. Proper positioning of units based on rank can make a huge difference. Balancing your forces is the key to victory here, especially once you start your journey through the ages. If you're a single-player aficionado, well, it's time for you to rejoice. The time has come, and so have you. The game offers 4 campaigns with 35 different missions, courtesy of the 8 aforementioned civilizations. Each campaign focuses on specific points in history involving the Normans, the 100 Years' War, the Mongol Empire, and the rise of Moscow. Fast-paced action aside, each campaign has objectives scattered across their respective missions, neatly tying in key moments in history. We learn as we pillage and conquer, as always. There's a lot to do as you go through each mission. Some missions are a bit longer than others and provide more of a challenge. The unique differences between civilizations will encourage you to think outside of the box and hopefully not just try to bull rush everything. Strategic planning is the key here, and getting to know the inner mechanics of your chosen civilization will help a great deal. Thankfully, Relic Entertainment did an outstanding job in giving proper detailed distinctions between each civilization, and you can tell once you take a good look at every unit and structure. There was a lot of care put into making each playthrough different every time, and I think that's actually pretty cool. The fact that no 2 battles can end up the same way is both challenging and exciting, and with the number of missions given during the campaign, you won't be running out of playtime anytime soon. But hey, in case you do, the Funmobile does not stop just yet. Newcomers need not to worry, for an epic tutorial does await. From the get-go, you're thrust right into the learning process, and while the game sort of holds your hand at the beginning, expect a baptism of fire right after. Managing units, learning the game's economy, dealing with agriculture, and advancing through the ages make up the bulk of this detailed tutorial, and it's fun to just hang back for a bit and get a solid grasp of the game. Everything you need to know in order to get through more content will be covered here, and they've done a spectacular job of showing and telling. The tutorial won't exactly try to murder you out of the gate, but it does make sure it gives you more of a learning experience than the usual games do these days. There's a feeling of accomplishment once you complete it, so celebrate while you can, young blood, because trust the process. What you learn early on will definitely come into play with each battle moving forward, so take it easy and feel things out. Afterwards, you're given free reign on how you wish to play the game and employ your conquest via bloodshed. Of course, you can always go straight into the campaign as one would, but you can also challenge other players online or, create custom games versus AI just like you did back in high school. You and 6 other AI-controlled civilizations against the Holy Roman Empire? Yeah, we've all been there and we love it. You can expect hours of fun creating custom games to hone your skills, test your strategies, and just fool around. The AI also has difficulty scaled from easy to hardest with an option for co-op with friends. Better with them than against them, am I right? Going against players in real time can be a bit stressful if you're going against veterans of the game, but always fun if you're up to the challenge. So far, online multiplayer runs smoothly and matchmaking suffers no hassle. You can get your game on as quickly as much as you want, no sweat. You can also complete daily quests via multiplayer, with challenges including winning a match using a certain civilization, winning in standard matchmaking with a certain number of allies and opponents, or building a given number of structures during a match. Complete more quests, get more experience, easy peasy. Of course, no RTS game from the past, present, or future would be complete without mod support. While mods won't be available until early 2022 as per their Steam page, you can only expect the community to come up with the best content. RTS custom games have always been more interesting whenever mods were involved, and we're definitely looking forward to what the community will be cooking up this time around. Veterans of the game see Age of Empires battles and skirmishes as very patient, steady crawls into superpower status before letting loose, destroying each other by the endgame. Sure, you'd occasionally encounter people who like to rush units every now and then, but that's pretty much it. Well, Age of Empires 4 decided to get with the times and cranked up the action just a bit. Getting into the feudal ages takes less time than before, and some new game mechanics help in making the process as steady as possible. Starting with up to 6 villagers instead of 3 already gives you a huge amount of resources to get going. Level up paths are introduced now, and they reward different perks, buffs, and bonuses as you advance and make sure that no 2 games will be the same for as long as you make different choices down the line. Automatic farming might not be new for RTS, but it's definitely new for the Age of Empires, and oh boy, are we glad that it's finally here. No more micromanaging farmers, and no more maracas sound alerts while the base is on fire. This in turn gives you time to focus on managing your other units and structures. This is a war simulator after all. Speaking of war, the addition of stone walls, powerful siege weapons, and specialized structures completely changed the game. Unlike in Age of Empires 2 and 3, walls pretty much provided the bare minimum in terms of protection. Stone walls upgrades not only take longer to destroy, but provide placement for units like archers, giving them extra range and damage. Medieval siege artillery might not be brand new to the series, but they definitely feel that way here. Trebuchets hit hard, bombards are explosively punchy, and even the anti-personnel units like the mangonels are just menacing. Specialized structures provide additional gameplay mechanics with area effect buffs for surrounding buildings and units. Funnily enough though, the House of Wisdom provides resistance to torches. And that's all I'm gonna say. Lastly, Age of Empires 4 gives us a new way to achieve victory. Of course, the usual domination and building a wonder is still there, but this time capturing sacred sites with your monks and holding on for 10 minutes will also end the game. An awesome counter for players who think attrition is the best way to win. Go ahead and wait, I'll just do my thing. The modernization and quickening of the pace may upset a few purists, but this is definitely a step forward in getting casual players into the game. If they don't like it, well, they can always appreciate the scenery. As far as RTS games go, Age of Empires 4 looks pretty darn good by today's standards. The presentation alone will hook you in and keep you in place, no doubt. As you advance through the ages, your units and structures will undergo changes, from their outward appearances to the languages they use. The evolution through time is portrayed accurately to a T, and the effort the developers put in makes the game a great historical experience. Aside from the voiceovers, the well-produced soundtrack and expert sound design both provide the perfect atmosphere for every situation, from simple farming in the Dark Ages to the massive battles towards the end of a mission. Great sound makes for great gameplay, if you ask me. Another awesome thing to take note is how the campaign scenarios are broken down into mini documentaries complete with narration and footage from the game's modern locations. What's even better is they edited units from the game into the footage to show actual battles, giving us a glimpse at how things might end up today. There's some high production value, and you know what, the History Channel would be proud. The scenes are picturesque, expertly shot and edited with the narration fitting and the overall tone so well. You'll definitely find a few interesting bits of historical information brought into the modern times, like showing you how the Mongols shot arrows on horseback and how they're still doing it to this day. While it may not be everyone's cup of tea, you have to acknowledge this feature as a highlight of the franchise. So there you have it, 5 things that make Age of Empires 4 awesome. Overall, it's by no means perfect, but the overall gameplay and, dare I say, educational experience stays fun and exciting regardless of whether you're a decade-long veteran or an Age of Empires newcomer. Did you get the game? How's your experience going so far? Comment down below and let us know. Again guys, I am Naisou. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to learn how to play the Rus. Those warrior monks. Man, they're on horses.